Hey, what's up, YouTube? Thanks for joining me here at Paid to Trade. So today I have some live scalps for you trading the NQ. I'm going to go ahead and go over watching the market turnaround, trigger points, and some entries and exits. So if you'd like to see more videos where I go over different strategies and show you some live trading, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Okay, so the trade's already been taken. As you can see, I've already scalped 125, but we are now in the next trade, and we've already tested the bottom of this zone, and then we're going up for it again. So that's why I decided to go ahead and get in for the break into the zone, as well as a little push a little bit higher. Okay, and so I see a nice little push going in. Now, if had we rejected the zone, that would have been a good place to go short. But because we also did this turnaround, I have the confidence that we're going to actually be going long, especially because we've already sold off a decent amount. And so I'm just snagging these two profit targets, and then I'm going to show you what I was looking at in terms of, the lower highs and, the market turning around. So we're sitting on 400 in each account. So we're sitting pretty good. That's well over 4,000 on the day. And so this is an evening session. You can see it's at 1:50 in the morning. I don't typically trade at this time, but I actually couldn't sleep last night, so I decided to take some trades. But we have all these lower highs. You can see we are downtrending. So I'm drawing out these arrows for you kind of to show you direction and what I'm looking at. And so instead of just taking a trade on that reversal candle, which you could have done, you can build more confidence in that you're going to be safer taking long plays once you see that we just broke the most recent lower high, which we did. And so now I've highlighted the areas that were good entry points to go ahead and go long. And so now that we're in the zone, playing the bottom of the zone is a great place to go ahead and take an entry with a low risk. So it's definitely a low risk entry. All right, and so now we've created another bull flag and we're in the zone. So getting in here and setting a stop just below the bull flag or just below the zone is a pretty smart play. I have pretty high confidence just because we sold off quite a bit. We made a turnaround. Now we're into the zone. We've tested the bottom of the zone. And so pushing up, like I don't see us hitting the stop at all, you know. But it's there just in case, and I'm going to keep scooting it up just to keep it really tight because I don't want to give it that much. All right, and so all we're shooting for is 5 points, and ideally I see this pushing into about 21 to 23, pretty easy. But instead of trying to get 21 or 23, I'm just shooting for 5 points, which would make us have our profit target at, I think it's at 19 or 1925. So you see 152.19. So that's all we're looking for. And so if it continues, it continues. But right now we're just looking for some scalps. There we go. So 5 point scalp, locked in another couple $100. I only traded two contracts. And so that puts us at 600 in each account of the day. So well over 6,000. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is possible places for us to go ahead and re-enter for some of the scalps. Now, I'm just mapping this out ahead of time so you can kind of see my thought process. I see us pulling back pretty soon, and we're most likely going to retest the bottom of the zone. But these are little pivot points where you can take some scalps, and you're probably good for about 3 to 5 points on each one. Um, I'm not going to take these. I'm just mapping these out ahead of time, and then we'll revisit it tomorrow. And so here we are on tomorrow. It's 9:31 a.m. So now the market's been open for about 3 hours, and we're going to visit those points that I just mapped out a little bit ago. We're going to revisit that in a second, but right now I'm just looking at another trade, and so it's another bull flag. So I want to take the breakout, and so as you can see, we've definitely moved up, definitely very bullish today, and we're about 20 points away from the next zone. Right. So the fact that we've already retested, you can see like there was a red candle a few minutes ago or a few candles ago. So we retested another little pivotal point. And so now we're setting up for another bull flag. So I want to take the breakout here. And then now you can see that we're most likely going to push up I can see it's pushing up towards the bottom of the next zone. But instead of shooting for the full move, I just want to take at most 10 points. So I have two orders set for profit targets. I want to snag 5 points and then see if I can get a little stretch into the 10 points. And then that's it. Most likely it's going to continue past that 10 points and run right up into the zone. But because most likely that's going to happen, that makes me feel very confident being able to take these two profit targets, which there you go. So quick push up, grab two profit targets, and we just locked in another 300. All right. So that puts us at well over 10,000 on the day. Okay. And so you can see this is just reviewing what happened since we closed out, around 2 a.m. And these are the spots that I highlighted. So we ended up hitting those spots, and they were good for quick little scalps. All right, so here's a recap of what the market did. So you can see that we pushed up all the way up into this next little zone here, and we found some resistance right at the top. And so that's what we look for when we're trading zones. So, if I was in a long position, trailing this up here, if I was in trail method, here's where you start to keep it really tight. Once you start hitting these borders of the zone, top or bottom, because you're looking for a turnaround point. These are inflection points. So they're not always perfect, but as you can see, they're pretty close. So once we hit the top of the zone at 153.55, we only went up to 153.59.75. So you're talking about a 5-point stop. So you can have a stop set just over that 153.60 if you're playing this short. Otherwise, playing it long, if I was trailing, I would definitely be moving my stops up real close to keep it really tight, and just trailing this guy up once we get close to that 55 mark. But that's it. Yeah, we definitely turned around, and this is quite the sell-off. You can see once we base out right over here, we're either going to base out and do a reversal to go up, but in this case, we came down. There we go. So started to base out a little bit, but it's definitely looking weak. This here looks like a reversal candle, definitely a fake out candle. And we never broke above that. So if you look at the steps down, you have, you got this high here, and then you got a lower high here, right? And then you have this here to watch out for. Okay, and then you have this. Okay, so not breaking above that. So the fact that we're not doing anything like that, well then, unless you're playing the bottom of this zone with a tight stop below, you would wait until you get above this to confirm that, hey, okay, now we're pushing back up. Maybe I want to go long. But that didn't happen. We just rested towards the bottom, and then we just fell out of the zone. And so a good entry would have been on this next candle once we pulled back over here. It retested these wicks over here. So you could have got in here or right here. You could have had an entry which wouldn't have hit. But, that's why sometimes I scale in. So I get in with a smaller position, and then I'll add on more if we get closer to this area here towards the top or bottom of a zone. But that's it. I did not take this trade, but it would have been a wonderful short. As you see, we sold off for quite a bit. And that's this big red candle down here. Now, reviewing what happened last night. So I had an entry set up here. And this was just, these were trade ideas. So I was saying, like, if we came down, this was the first trade idea, I would have taken a trade here, and this would have worked out just fine. My entry would have been at 215. And then all we would have been looking for was a 5 to 10 point scalp, and it definitely hit the 5-point mark. So 5 points there, but getting in here, this would have been a fail. Now this would have been a tighter stop though. So getting in here at 152.07, I would have had maybe a 3-point stop, because what you want to look out for is the halves and holes, right? And so 5 is a psychological number. So if we went down, let's say to 152.07, but we're still kind of holding the zone, then it might come down to 152.05 and then, do a turnaround. So because of that, I would have my stop below the 152.05 at 152.04. That's where I would have been at. So that could have worked out. But in this case, it it definitely wouldn't have, because we sold right through it and we kept selling off down here. So my stop would have been hit. But having a 3-point stop and a couple contracts, I would have risked $120. I would risk 120 to make a couple hundred. So it's better than a 1-to-1. But it's maybe not great. But as you can see, the scalp still worked out pretty good. So I ended up taking one more trade after the last one I showed you. But altogether, this is the course of, I think it was a total of 4 trades. So 4 trades, we're looking at about 1,200 each in each account. So that's over 12K on the day. That's it. That's really it. So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on, maybe the trades or, trading zones, and see how the zones are kind of playing out. And again, all this was mapped out ahead of time. You can see in all of my other videos too, I have all these zones set up in advance. And so I just use them to help structure trades. So not all trades are taken at zones. I prefer that they are, but I don't always wait until we hit that. But based on what we've done with other zones, and based on how the market is looking overall, I try to incorporate everything together as far as how I'm forming my trades, and they're definitely helpful in knowing sell points and buy points, and where we're at in the market, and if we're going up or down, and if we've broken through one, it helps me gain confidence, to take trades continuing in that direction, depending on where we are in relation to that particular zone. If you'd like to go ahead and take advantage of what Apex offers as far as being able to trade multiple accounts at once, I know some other companies are now offering that too, but they don't offer anything more than 3. So I know TopStep just started offering that. You can trade up to 3 at once. I think TopStepTrader is now offering you being able to take trade 3 accounts at once as well. But Apex is the only one that I know of that allows you to trade up to 20. So you can trade 20 accounts simultaneously. And that's whether you use their paid for trade copier or not, because there's free trade copiers with Tradeovate as well as Quant Tower. And there might be some more now that I'm just not aware of. But those 2 are definitely free. But overall, you don't even have to trade this large. Trading this large just ensures like a really big day. But ideally, we could have stopped one trade in. If you just made $200 on one account, but you're running 20 accounts, that's that's still $4,000 on the day. 10 accounts, that'd be $2,000 on the day. So you don't even need that many. Even if you only traded 5 accounts, so 5 accounts at $200 a pop, you're talking about $1,000 on the day. And so $1,000 on the day, that's a $5,000 week. You're looking at $20,000 on the month, so that's over $200,000 for the year. So you can see the type of damage you can do just running a few accounts simultaneously and not having to worry about taking multiple trades. Sure, I took about 4 scalps today, but that wasn't necessary. I did want to give you at least 2 or 3 examples, to be honest. If you'd like to take advantage of that, I do have links in the description, so go ahead and feel free to use those links. You still get a discount if you use my coupon code. The 90% sale for Apex is over, but as of right now, they did bring back the 80%. So you can still use my discount code. You'll get 80% off. And that's it. And that's for the life of the account. So for as long as you keep the account, you keep getting that 80% discount until you get funded. Once you get funded, then you don't have to pay that subscription fee anymore. All right. So let me know what you guys think. If you do sign up, drop some info in the comments. I'd like to see, how your journey is, how you're starting off. And if you have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments as well. And thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching my videos and subscribing. And for those that haven't, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. I definitely appreciate that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.